Living on Fox 14 continues.
And welcome back. We're here with Kathy Agan with the LSU Ag Extension Service to talk about watermelons for farm to table. And Kathy, thank you so much for joining us. And Kathy brought us a beautiful watermelon, and I had to ask her if it was fake because it's perfect.
It is beautiful, and I hope it tastes as good as it looks.
Yeah.
And hopefully it will when we cut it open.
Tell me about watermelons. How do we grow watermelons?
All right, well, watermelons grow on a vine, and really to get the freshest or best tasting watermelon, you want one that's been allowed to ripen on the vine. And there are a couple of things that you can do when you're looking to choose a watermelon to try to get the best. Of course, people have all different things. People use the thump test, where they thump it and see if it sounds hollow, or sniff it to see if it has a sweet aroma. And typically people feel that if it has a sweeter smell, it's going to be a sweeter watermelon. And those things sometimes do work, but they're not 100% foolproof to tell. What I like to tell people is if you're looking for a watermelon, to turn it over and look for that creamy yellow spot that should be on the bottom to show you that it was in the field until it ripened and it wasn't picked too early. So look for that creamy yellow spot. You also want to look for a watermelon that when you pick it up, it feels heavy for its size. And those are some good tips that you can use to try to help you find, a sweeter one and one that's going to be the ripest melon.
Are watermelons nutritious? I've heard that they are, and then I've heard that they're mostly sugar and water. Right.
Well, I like to call them summer superfruit because a lot of times people think that they're just water and sugar, but that's not true. They're 92% water, so they're a great way to stay hydrated in the summer, but they're also packed with nutrients. Watermelons are great sources of vitamins like vitamins A and C, well as some B vitamins, and they also have some minerals, and they're also a very good source of lycopene. And lycopene is an antioxidant that typically people associate with tomatoes, but it's just found in things that are red fruits and vegetables. And lycopene as an antioxidant can be protective against certain types of cancer. So watermelons really are very nutritious.
Well, I'm going to have to buy them more for my children. They always want watermelons, but then I don't want to go through the mess of cutting it. And so we were buying the cut watermelons, and there was a recall on them recently. What is that about?
Right. There were a recall issued because of salmonella associated with pre-cut watermelon. And so, I recommend that if you can, go ahead and buy a whole watermelon and cut it yourself. You can control what happens to that watermelon. If that's not convenient for you and you prefer to buy the pre-cut, only purchase it if it's stored in ice or in a cooler where it's refrigerated so that it hasn't been sitting out where bacteria can grow. And at home, if you do buy a whole watermelon, it's important to wash those. And I know that's kind of hard. That's not like the size of an apple trying to wash. But it really is important, just as you would any other fruit, before you cut that, you want to wash it, even though we don't eat the outside of the watermelon. Because what happens is your knife touches the outside of that watermelon, it brings that bacteria all the way through. And so that can contaminate the watermelon. So go ahead and wash it. Make sure your sink is clean and sanitized. Put the watermelon in your sink. All you need is running water, and if you have a produce brush, give it a good scrub under the running water with the produce brush, and that's going to really help reduce the bacteria, so when you do cut it, you're not bringing that bacteria through to the flesh that you're going to eat.
Very important information. Kathy, thank you so much for joining us on the show and bringing this lovely watermelon. And coming up next, we're talking with the SMGI organization about their work in the community just ahead on Louisiana Living.
Trade names are used by the LSU Ag Center for clarity and information purposes only. Neither commercial endorsement of specific products nor a recommendation to the exclusion of similar products is implied.